I think a lot of times we are living our own life. You don't usually pause and think about what the city you're living in can offer you until you slow down your pace of life a little bit. I learned to appreciate the quality time we spend doing different things.
I always tell myself that I need to really listen to my heart and my instinct. That's why I'm putting the effort to build my dream. And to build your dream is actually pursuing of your heart. Hello everybody. Hello Michael. Today is the 9th of April 2022. It is a Saturday. At the moment it's about 4:54 p.m. in the afternoon. We decided to come out today to the outdoor because the weather is just doing fine. It's cooling, blue sky, lots of people running around in the park. And where we are right now in Singapore is called Pasir Ris Park. So basically you can see the other side. You can see Pulau Ubin on the other side. It's quite exciting. It's a lovely Saturday. We are recording our episode 6 today. I don't have the words yet. So Mike, how's your last 2 weeks?
Last 2 weeks were great. We both know that your friend, Veri, a Bulgarian friend of yours, came to Singapore to visit. We spent quite a fair bit of time with her. Every single day trying to explore different parts of Singapore, introducing what the city can offer to her. By bringing her to different places to eat, to drink. For me, the experience overall definitely was good. Yeah, but it was tiring. It was tiring, really tiring.
Yeah, so that's one of the highlights for the last 2 weeks because this friend of mine, Veri, she visited me/us from Düsseldorf in Germany. Wait, hold on. This is Michael's freshly brewed coffee. Yeah, so she arrived 2 weeks ago and then she was just taking like a holiday, her first holiday of the year. It was really lovely to see her. She's one of my closest friends in Germany. And she's originally from Bulgaria, but she has been living in Germany for the last, I think, 11 or 12 years. Very similar to my profile. So yeah, it was really nice to see her and then also kind of do this rediscovery of Singapore with her because there are certain places I have not been there for such a long time, like Sentosa. I was literally dragging myself to go there because I was really exhausted. But overall, I think when you're overseas, you also choose the friends you want to be with, right? Like you hang around with. She's like my family over there. So that was really nice to see her and also kind of introduced Veri to my family, like to Michael and Susan. We did manage to go to quite a lot of places like the tea house in Tanjong Pagar. Sentosa was one of the highlights too. We also did go for quite a lot of different live music performance in the pubs or the bar because Singapore just recently relaxed the COVID regulations. So all these kind of activities kind of like started again, which is really nice. Singapore is made out of 4 main races. You have Chinese, Malay, Indian, and Eurasian. So she did manage to try different cuisine over here and most of the time she got her tongue burnt. But I think by the end of her trip, she said she's well trained in using chopstick to eat the food or using a combination of fork and spoon. It was quite difficult for her to eat without knife. Usually she has like a knife or fork, but not a combination of spoon and fork. So I think fork and spoon is a very Southeast Asian thing. I was really proud of her.
She will always do this.
Yeah. And the funny part of it is before we leave, before she left for Germany, we brought her to Jewel Thursday we brought her there. We kind of spent about 6 hours exploring Jewel. Surprisingly, there's a lot of people in Jewel now because I think also, traveling started again. So before people depart or arrive, they'll hang out a little bit in Jewel. And it was beautiful to see the artificial waterfall in Jewel. They were just stunning, especially going to the nights. The lights kind of like lit out. We had quite a good drink and food there and chatted away. And in the end, the highlight was that we went to see a movie. There was the IMAX theater, one of the Avengers movie.
Yeah, correct. The Sony Marvel Universe.
Yeah, Jared Leto. Is it his name? The actors?
Yes,
yeah.
The main actor.
But anyway, that was just a stunning movie. It was quite cool. Right after that, we sent her to the departure hall and we hugged each other goodbye and she went off. So that was like such an easy transition from entertainment to saying goodbye.
I do agree with that. Her presence over the last 2 weeks, if I could really summarize in a word, it would be appreciation. I learned to appreciate time with somebody I do not know at first. Got to know in a very quick manner because of the trust that this friend of yours has in you. And naturally it just cover on my side. From strangers to become friends in a very fast time frame. We went pretty deep in some of the conversation we have over the last 2 weeks. We shared a lot of ideas of how you want your life to be and all that. So I truly appreciate this new friend of mine, thanks to you. The quality time we spent doing different things, by like what you mentioned, we went to Sentosa, we went to ride the bicycles around eastern part of Singapore.
Oh, that's another highlight, correct?
Yeah, and
it was a beautiful day.
We had many good food and some drinks. I really appreciate the quality time spent. The last time I have really spent so many days with people will be pre-COVID times when I went overseas with my friends. Naturally, you're in that group, then you will be forced or voluntarily to spend quality time, and I think this is something that is very memorable. So appreciation in that manner. At the same time, I also appreciate the places, the city that I live in, really different place of interest, different food, different experiences that the city is able to provide. I think a lot of times we are living our own life. You don't usually pause and think about what the city you're living in can offer you until something like that truly happens, or you slow down your pace of life a little bit, you know, and then you start to, actually the public transport were great, private hires were great, the beaches,
the food is amazing.
so these are the little things that turn out to be something I pay attention to over the last 2 weeks, and I am thankful that she came, that allowed me to re-experience the city that I'm living in currently. As I was thinking about this, there's this story I would like to share is, I think a couple of years ago, you happened to station there, I think, and then we went to Munich in Germany to find you and stayed in one of your friends' place. I think it's Julian and Victoria. Yes, right. Both of them were not native to Munich, but they just happened to stay in Munich for, back then was a couple of years. So they were rather familiar with the city itself, and they were really very kind. They were able to tell us, Henri and Michael, you need to go to here, go to here, go to here for this food, for this drink, this beautiful garden and all that kind of things. And I was really blown away by the knowledge they have for that city itself. Because back then I was thinking like, I actually stay in Singapore, I grew up, I spent quite a lot of my teenage time here. I thought I knew a lot about the city, what it can offer, but not really. So after that trip, because that trip to Munich left a very deep impression, because I definitely had enjoyed myself during that couple of days. Really, it's not even a week, it was like maybe like 4 or 5 days. So I had such a wonderful time spent in Munich, and it was all really thanks to Julian and Victoria's recommendations, spending time with us out of their busy schedules. After I came back, I told myself that I need to understand the city that I live in, and whenever friends from abroad is coming to Singapore, I will then bring them around to see and experience this city, like what it can offer, to bring out that positive vibe and that good experience that one can truly get from living here.
I think Singapore is a great place. I mean, a lot of people don't really understand that because they just see like it's a very artificial city-state. I really only start to appreciate more of Singapore once I move away. And every year when I come back, I start to realize how quick the development take place. Like everywhere you go, there's always construction going on. But through the year, you also see the facilities being upgraded all the time. And it's really meant for the people. Just a simple example of the HDB flat. When it rains, you can always walk on the shelter.
Under the shelter.
It's always connected from the stations to different HDB blocks. So you don't necessarily get wet, you see, and life still goes on. And similarly for different shopping centers. Part of the people I heard before, they kind of criticize about the shopping centers culture in Singapore. But on the other hand, you also bring convenience. Most of the shopping centers in Singapore, they are all connected with MRT as well. So I think that's quite a good thing. And also, I was just talking to Michael the other day when we were cycling from Marina Bay Sand area all the way to the Changi Beach along the East Coast Park. That was such a beautiful ride. I was just talking about how Singapore actually developed itself, redesigned certain part of it to be more bike friendly or pedestrian friendly. Some parts when I was riding the bike in Marina Bay Sand area towards the East Coast Park, all those areas reminded me a lot of riding a bike in Copenhagen because you got the water there and everything just easy accessible. You got the architecture to admire. Also, you have some food courts scattered all around that you can grab a quick bite or a quick coffee. That was just beautiful. And also along the East Coast Park, that was just stunning. I mean, there was this whole stretch of greens, both sides. And then you get to see the sea and some of the ships dotted around, like surrounding Singapore. But they also have really great cafe, like Peace Cafe is one of them. I really enjoy going there. It reminded me of when I was younger, when I was working part-time along the East Coast, there was this Irish pub. It doesn't really exist anymore. It kind of got pulled down and then they redeveloped the area. But it reminded me back then, every weekend I'll go down and do like a waitering, running around. They call it runner, I think, delivering drinks from the pub and the food from the kitchen to the customers, sitting outside enjoying their Saturday and Sunday. So that was quite a good memory to look back. And the Changi village is just another highlight. The trees are so beautiful. It must be really ancient. It's just really high up, and the food there is amazing as well. So I did enjoy that day a lot, even though all of us got sunburn. But that was such an experience.
You forgot one thing other than sunburn, our bump.
Yeah, hurts a lot.
Like mad.
But anyway, so if you come to Singapore, that's something that I really recommend you to go check it out. Like rent a bike and then just cycle along the East Coast, I would say. East Coast is really prettier than the West Coast. Michael did the West Coast right?
Yeah, the other day. So this entire thing is called Round Island Route. The northeast coast of Singapore is connected all the way down to the southern part of Singapore. So you will start somewhere around Yishun Dam. You will cycle eastwards towards Pasir Ris Park, like where we are right now, then to Changi Beach, and then down to East Coast Park, and off somewhere around in the south, you'll pass by Marina Bay, and then you will end at Labrador Park. So this entire thing is connected in January this year, January 2022.
It's really fresh.
And in total, there's around 75 kilometers there. Now, the government of Singapore, specifically N Park, they are building the western part of it. So the other day, I went with my friend to cycle the western part just to really explore. It was around 30 kilometers out, but it's not well connected yet. Right now, everything is just connected by the park connectors. This is just trying to connect different segments of the park.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, the connection part is in fact by the road. So it's rather dangerous. It's not a smooth ride. So I think once the western part is done, it will just be as smooth as how our experience was cycling from Marina Bay Sands all the way to Changi Beach.
I'm actually looking forward to that. That'll be quite interesting to do the whole island bike ride.
Yeah, Tour de Temasek.
Yeah, correct. That'll be nice actually. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, once the facility is actually upgraded and you have more stuff going on, it'll be nice. Anyway, so that's like the highlight of the last 2 weeks. I mean, I did miss Veri a lot because even though we don't live in the same city, we constantly talk to each other. And there was once in 2018, she also came to this part of the world, like this region, to Thailand, because a mutual friend of ours, she got married. So she kind of like organized her wedding. So we went to Phuket. So I was just telling Michael that, so one day when I get married, I want to organize my wedding somehow also in a tropical island. So between Europe and Asia. So from different part of the world, people can fly into that. It's just like in the middle ground, so it's easy. But let me find a partner first and then we'll do marriage.
You might want to consider Philippines as well. Philippines has fantastic islands around, really. So far, the islands I've been to, Philippines have not disappointed me.
Definitely worth to
great,
check it out. I've
really.
never been to the Philippines before.
Yeah. Like some of my friends who dive, they have always described to me that Philippines is the diving heaven. I've always thought that, Malaysia, Indonesia or Thailand, they were good. But a lot of my friends who told me that no, Philippines is on another level. Maybe there's something that it's worth your time next.
I gotta check it out first. I need to travel to there to experience it first, then I'll know. Because I don't want to, just have my wedding some point and just say, okay, let's go there because I heard a good thing about it. But I never really personally experienced that before. I don't want to fuck it up, It has to be perfect.
Okay, I get you. Yeah, but do make some time to travel around Philippines if you can, because you have to fly into Manila before you get the original flight around the countries. You got to remember that Philippines is an islands country.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them.
You already confirmed the word of this week, what we call, what's your word? Appreciation.
Appreciation. Appreciation.
Okay. Just an extension to what we talked about previously. Like we're driving here and then we'll talk about how can we make our episode, like our podcast, a bit more substantial, more value giving. And then I'll just kind of telling Michael with regards to my experience of doing YouTube at the moment, also various social media and all the contents that I'm specializing in. It's not an easy journey because through all this process, you really discover yourself more and what works and what not works. Because sometimes what you want to do could be perceived differently from the markets, like from the audience wise. So you need to really have a balance there. I mean, that's only provided if you want to do this seriously and not as a hobby. You know what I mean? I think to some extent we reached an agreement that we want to do this seriously, like not only for us, but also for the audience that are up there, because it takes two to tango, right? So we need to understand what the markets want, but at the same time also not giving up, not compromising too much of our interests and what makes us, vibe and what makes us really interested, who we are as a person, things like this. For me, it's more like a language part, so German language specifically, because that's what I've been doing for the last, 12 years. And so I thought I will use that as a niche topic to tell the story from both English speaking perspective and also Chinese speaking perspective. So recently I split the channel. I took out the language part and migrated to a new channel, set a new second channel, so I can really specify and focus on the language developing, like how to learn German properly, what are tips, so you don't have to experience the mistakes that I went through before. Or just telling about my stories with regards to the German-speaking world, like Germany, Austria, Liechtenstein, or Switzerland, things like that. So I think it's quite exciting. There's always a lot of things to explore in that front. On the other hand, I'm thinking about Just Henri. How can I make it more specialized? Because that's more like a growth and lifestyle kind of channel. This kind of channel will take some time to grow, like sometimes a few years, because people have to understand and get to know who you are as a person. I think I will always stick to language part because that's where I find I can
most
wake up
joy.
Yeah, every day and do it without any incentives given. So that's something I really enjoy doing as a person.
Okay.
How about you?
I think as we were talking just now, it's kind of like I don't really have a very specific topic, or maybe I have not think through very carefully and thoroughly. That's something I will need to do from here on, so that can bring more value not only to ourselves but also the audience as well. How about we talk a little bit about channel building and strategy? Like, how then do you decide? Why do you need to split? Because naturally, I think knowing you as a person, when you start to do something, naturally there will be a trial and error, but you definitely have thought through, okay, these are the few key things that I want to focus in order to build this thing.
I also take in the feedbacks from others, from the audience, you see. So for the main channel, Just Henri, so originally I have like growth, language, and lifestyle. So I really try doing different videos on those three topics. But I often get a feedback that when they look at my channel, they do not have the focus. They don't know what exactly I'm doing. Perhaps I should try to focus so people have a rough understanding when they look at the channel itself, they know Henri is doing German. So that's why I decided to split. And to be honest, I feel a sense of relief as well, because when I do my script writing and filming, I can really just focus on a topic. There's so many topics I can talk about with regards to German language and the culture, mentality, everything else. So that's something I can really focus on. But with regards to Just Henri, I know I'm good at storytelling. It's something that I discovered recently. And also something with regards to the internal words, like asking questions, stuff like this. More of the self-development, self-growth kind of aspect. But this is something I never really discovered myself. It's only through feedbacks from others. So I thought maybe I should explore that a bit more. And then also through the process, learn more in terms of filming and also editing. Like how do I tell stories better through visual effects and, your visual and audio there. So that's where I am now. But to be honest, I really struggle a little bit with Just Henri at the moment as well, because like yesterday, I was trying to write a script, but I can't really have any topic coming out that I can really devote in, like to plunge into and to start writing. So I think at some point tonight or tomorrow, I will do some brainstorming again. But I find it hard when my focus are not there. So that's why I think having a niche and a focus is important, because it gives a very good overview of what your channel is doing and what your brand is all about.
As I'm listening to you about this, what came to me was about product market fit. This entire channel building, content creation, essentially trying to establish a brand. But what's more important is trying to build a product. You have an idea about what your product that brings value to people, like Just Henri.
In general, you can say it's all about growth. That's the main topic. But then when you go to subtopic, you have self-development, self-growth, or language learning, lifestyle traveling, broaden your horizon. That's also a kind of growth. I do think that it is necessary to have that niche at the start.
Okay, I hear you. To finish off what I mean by this product market fit is like a lot of time come up with the product and assess the market. You feel that this product market definitely fits. But along the way, you start to discover more something about your product, whether it's good or it's lacking. And then you also understood more about the market as it shifts. There's no constant stagnant market, right? So it's always moving. So I realized that the process that you just went through, re-strategizing, reorganizing the channels, and repositioning yourself, that is very much moving along with the market, trying to get a good product market fit always, constantly adjusting to the market for your product, or the other way around as well. Probably any company or any person having a product or services trying to fit in the market, I think this is something that is important.
It is, because even if you make a decision for a start, you always pivot at some point, because you have to listen to the market, what's going on.
Exactly.
But it's only provided if you want to do this YouTube or social media seriously. If you want to do it as a hobby, it doesn't really matter everything that we're just talking about right now. It's only for your own pleasure, own entertainment. But if you want to do it seriously, to run like a business or entrepreneurial project, then you really need to think through, have a plan, like a business plan. How do you want to run about this thing? Because once you have an idea, then you can set the how am I going to do it, and also when am I going to deliver that in a way that becomes more measurable and more like a bite-sized digestion kind of thing. So you are actually progressing.
So do you have a word then about this channel building, this entrepreneurship experience that you have in the last 2 weeks?
Pursuit of heart. I'll just put a hyphen in between to make it as a noun. Pursuit of heart. Because let me just break it down. Pursuit of heart in the sense that the friends that visited me recently, Veri, so that's a pursuit of heart activity. Because I love her a lot as a person, as a friend, as a family, you see. That's represent friendship, like a really quality friendship that I have. You know, I've got to know her through 2011 till now. This whole YouTube project I'm doing right now. So I always tell myself that when I'm doing this, I need to really listen to my heart and my instinct. I know that my logic side will always argue, but for this project that I'm doing right now, I want it to be sustainable in the future. So that's why I'm putting the effort to build my dream. And to build your dream is actually pursuing of your heart. So I think my word this week will be pursuit of heart, and yours will be appreciation. I think those are two beautiful words. But anyway, so here we are in Singapore. I was a bit down the last 2 days because she left, right? But then
she'll be very happy to know that.
Like you and moms are still here.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I came back, you know, to spend time with you guys. So I think for the remaining time that I'm here in Singapore, I will still do my stuff, build my dream, pursuit of hearts, and also spend time with you guys. We'll see what comes out. When do I really make up my mind to go back to Europe? With that note, we will conclude this episode 6, Appreciation and Pursuit of Heart. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening to us chatting away, and I hope the last half an hour bring you some joy. And whatever you are in the world, we wish you all the best. Don't forget to smile, keep smiling, and take care of each other. And we shall keep you updated in the very next episode.
Be kind to yourself, as what Henry will always mention. So this is Mike
and Henry
signing off.
Hasta luego. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.